All right, for homework this week, you're going to continue working on your animation and implementing any feedback that you've gotten to improve your project. Anything from the visual to the organization to the timing to the technical to whether or not you're using the template. You're going to need to address any of that feedback. And your goal is to get about 50% of it done, okay? If you're not satisfied with your concept, you may go ahead and change it. You just want to continue to get assets or try other things that make it look better. And if you download any assets, you need to provide me with copyright and update your written story, okay? So last week we started with showing you partially how to animate, and now we're going to continue showing you how to animate some more. So let's go ahead and take a look at that again and continue from there. We'll play it again from the directors of, okay? So then after that one fades out, we're going to want some other text. I'm going to go ahead and close that up. So we're going to enter another text here. We're going to go the text, and we're just going to type it anywhere on the screen. So it's from the directors of Streetwise. You'll notice if we go to the beginning, it put that Streetwise all the way from the beginning, so we don't want that. So we're going to go ahead and adjust that to here. And then we'll just play it from the directors of Streetwise. Now we don't like the way that popped up, and I'm thinking they can even overlap a little bit where one is fading in as the other one is fading out. So we're going to do that there. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go to the end here, and I'm going to shrink that. And Streetwise is pretty short, so I'm going to make that even shorter. It doesn't take that long to read it. Okay. Now these are just guesstimations. I'm going to go ahead and tweak the opacity on this one, so I'm going to go to transform. I'm going to put it right at the beginning here, right at the beginning of that layer. I'm going to go to opacity, the stopwatch. I'm going to start it. I'm going to set this at 0. Then I'm going to set the point how long I want it to be before it's completely full opacity. So then I'm going to set that to 100. You'll notice it creates the keyframe for me. Then I'm going to say I want it to last from 100% to 100% to here. So then I'm going to set that at 100. I just move it to the right, even though it's already at 100. And then I go to the end here. And then I do 0. Okay. So now that one's doing something similar. So we'll go ahead and preview it. Okay, so primarily what you want to focus on is whether the timing is good, whether or not it's actually playing slow enough for you to actually read the text, or that it's not too slow where it's dragging on. So if that was a little bit slow, say that you wanted Streetwise to be left for less time here, we can always shrink these. And if you just go ahead and shrink these here, you'll notice that the fading in and out ones stayed behind, so you can just scoot those over. Okay, so this is editing the timeline as you kind of go here. All right, and then you keep testing. Okay, I like that. That's not too slow, not too fast. And then we're going to do the logo next, New Line Cinema. So we're going to go to graphics, and we're going to import the graphic. And you'll notice it created a new layer here, so we're going to go ahead and fold that up there. Okay, and it's huge. We're going to zoom out so that we can see the edges to scale it down. I'm going to grab my black arrow. Position that there, and I'm just going to go ahead and go back up. Okay. Now when you're scaling, I first click on the corner here, click, start dragging, and then hold the shift key down so that it'll constrain. And then I'm just going to position it where I want it. Okay. And I want this to be visible, and I want it to be centered, but I want it to be visible after this thing is fading out here. So I'm going to go ahead and shrink that here. And then this side too. All right. So we'll try that again. I don't like the way this one popped up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this one at the very beginning here. I want it to be super small where I virtually can't see it. And then I want it to grow into the space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into its transform here. And I'm going to turn on the stopwatch here on scale. And I'm going to bring this down to virtually 0. Sometimes you have to type it in because you can't get it. If you go past it and you go to negative, it kind of inverts it. Okay. And then I'm going to go to, say, here. And then I'm going to want it to go back up to about that size. There. And then from that point on, I just want it to be that normal size. So it'll just continue like that. So it'll go New Line Cinema. Okay, so if we watch that again, from the directors of, Streetwise, New Line Cinema, and then we'll do Presents. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and grab my text tool and then do Presents. Okay, and this one I want a smaller type face. Maybe something like that. And I want to position it where I want to begin with. Okay. I want it to be, actually, I just moved it down this way so I could see it. You know, where I can see both of these. I moved my cursor here so I can see both of these so that I can see where I want it to pop up. And it's going to want to be right underneath there. Streetwise. Okay. That's visible the whole time. We don't want that, so we want to shift this over. I'm actually going to make a fading in, so we're going to shift this over. Presents is a pretty short word, so it doesn't need that much time to read it. Maybe a second or so. We're going to say here, we're going to do the same thing of opacity. I'm going to fold these down. Open that one, hit transform, hit opacity. Bring it down to 0, scoot over a little bit, make that 100, scoot over a little bit, make that 100, and then scoot out a little bit. And then we'll say 0. Okay, and if this is too close, I might space that out a little bit. Okay, we'll try it now. Alright, so I'll play it from the beginning again. From the directors of Streetwise, New Line Cinema, Presents, and then we're going to do the title, okay? Now I haven't put the actor names. I'm not going to go through the full entire process just because it's going to take way too long, but we're going to do the title, which is the last one. So I'm going to go ahead and close these up, start a new one. And this one, I'm going to do a capital Lostboys. And I'm going to actually set this one in small caps. And I'm going to change the size dramatically. Okay. And I can experiment with colors here. I haven't really tested any out, but I'm going to... There we go. Something like that. I'm going to hit OK. And it's a little bit too spacey in between here, so if that's the case, you can tweak the spacing in between the characters. Not these ones that, this will stretch out your type. You want to try these ones here. So you'll go like this. That'll just change the spacing in between the letters. Not too much. Okay. Alright. And then I'm going to position it where I want it. And then I decide what it is that I want to, how I want to animate that one and the duration. So I know I want it to be visible somewhere over here. And then say here. And for this one, I'm going to say I want an effect. And I'm going to want it to say distort, and I'm going to want it to twirl. Okay, so maybe at the very beginning here, when we open that up, we'll go to effects, we'll see the twirl effect, and at the beginning we want it to be just as it is, and in my case I want it to twirl and then kind of fade away. So at the end, I'm going to do it here. At the end here, I want it to be twirled. And then also I want it to disappear in opacity. So I'm going to close that up. I'm going to add another one because you can add multiple of these. I'm going to say at the beginning here, I want it to be the opacity. I'm going to set that. I want it to not be here. So I'm going to make it 0 opacity. Move down the timeline a little bit. Make it up here. And then as it's moving out, I want it to start disappearing. So I'll do here, I want it to be set at 100, and then here I want it to have disappeared by this time. So I'm going to set that to 0. So I may or may not like what happens here, but we'll see. Presents Lost Boys. I'm not sure if I like that. I don't like that there's no time where I can see it visible before it starts doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this. I'm going to make the twirl not happen right away. So I'm going to open up the twirl. And in the twirl here, I'm going to make this not happen until later. So it's going to start off normal. It's going to be readable. So this part of it where it starts twirling, from here to here, it's just moving. I'm moving that over. So it's going to come in like this. It's still going to fade in. So the fade is still there. And then it's just going to move over. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I think I moved this on accident. Here we go. Okay. So it goes like this. Presents Lost Boys. It fades in from here to here. And then it's visible for a while. And then when it disappears by twirling and kind of disappearing, like getting lost. Okay, so let's play it, and if it's fine, then we can leave it alone. From the directors of Streetwise, New Line Cinema presents Lost Boys. Okay. And there you have it, an animation. I didn't put the actor names, but like I said, just in the interest of time. The last thing you'd want to do is once you have this done, you'd want to file, save it. It'll save to your folder. Okay. Once you're done with that, you can just go ahead and close out of it. That file should be saved inside your assets template folder here. You'll notice there'll be an autosave folder here. These are just autosaves that usually happen on your computer by default, just in case your program crashes. So you can keep those there or throw them away. They're not very big file sizes. What you're going to do is you're going to zip this folder back up. So once you're done with this, you're going to right click and then you're going to compress it or zip it up on a PC. And you'll notice that you get the folder, this one. And this is the folder that you're going to send to me via UH file drop. Okay. Once you've sent it to me and you get that confirmation link, you're going to copy and paste that confirmation link into your assignment like you've done before. Okay. This concludes your lesson. If you have any questions, please be sure to contact me.